Dave wrote, Meng will face Bill Goldberg at World War III. This is supposed to be a big deal because Goldberg does a shoot fighting gimmick, and Meng is supposed to be one of the toughest men in the world. Of course, since the fans see Meng as a mid-card guy who's been around forever, and nobody cares a lick about him, and because the announcers are either afraid to talk about or not allowed to talk about, or simply don't know anything about shoot fighting to talk about it, Goldberg has this unspoken gimmick, which means nobody at home understands the significance of either guy, let alone the match. Don Fry said he was given an offer by WCW, but wants to finish his New Japan commitments first, since they gave him his first break and asked him not to start WCW just yet. New Japan has positioned him as a shooter, and if he starts bouncing off the ropes and doing jobs like Ken Shamrock, his value in Japan will drop. So, Tony, I want you to set the record straight here. Do you recall ever being given a directive that Goldberg was supposed to look like a shoot fighter, and were you ever told not to talk about shoot fighting?
No, I was never told not to talk about shoot fighting because, with the exception of Dave Meltzer and the people who read his magazine and the shoot fighting fans, I don't think we gave a fuck about it. We didn't. Why would we?
Right. No, I agree.
So I don't. No, I don't. Afraid that that's funny. We just know we don't. Who if I can tell you that Meng. And Meltzer's right about this, was perceived as kind of a mid-card guy,
right,
by the fans, and was legitimately one of the baddest asses ever.
Right.
But in that same vein, he was one of the, just like the Barbarian, one of the great guys ever. We all thought that if we ever wanted somebody, I put it this way. I remember thinking, and I would tell some of the announcers, as some of the guys says, if I ever take over this damn business, Ming's going to be with me everywhere I go. When I negotiate a damn contract, he's going to be sitting in the fucking corner and just sitting because he was just legitimately a badass. He's right about that. But as far as shoot fighting is concerned, we're promoting our own product. Why should we even talk about shoot fighters? In the grand scheme of things, who gives a shit?
Do you remember WCW ever talking about bringing in Don Fry, or is that just rumor and innuendo?
I don't remember that.
Do you have any crazy Meng stories?
Yes, I do.
Can you give us one?
This is a legendary Meng story. Heenan told the story better than I did. I was there that night. I believe I was there that night because I know there's a lot of commotion. I heard the story later. Meng, when he would, as a lot of guys would, when he get a little few in him, would get happy and would get tougher and would not take any bullshit. Legend has it that at a bar one night, Meng, there was a guy next to him, ripping on the fact that wrestling was fake. And all the guys were full of shit. And Meng did not have anything to say, just sat there. And the guy was still talking about how fake it was. Meng walked over to him, put his 2 fingers in the guy's mouth, and broke off his bottom teeth.
Oh, God. Wow.
The reason I think I was there that night was there was a lot of commotion at the bar one night when Meng was there and I was there. So I think I was around for that. But yeah, just, the guys, pow, broke off, he pulled his bottom teeth. And that's another Meng story I have is not too graphic, but we were on our way to Universal Studios to do our taping. We had a place to park, and I parked my rental car, and I saw Meng, and we walked in together. I loved talking to him because he was such a great guy. And he said, you've got children, and I have 5 children. They were younger at that time. And he said, how's things at your house? How do you handle your children? I said, I don't know. I just try to be the best father again. He said, my son doesn't do anything I say. He just won't do anything I say. I said, let your son know who the fuck you are. Tony Schiavone telling his son Matt to do something is different than Meng telling his son to do something.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Because, I mean, I would say, you know, son, I broke out a guy's bottom teeth at the bar one night. You know, I will stick your head up your ass. So I think his son was dead. So we had a big laugh about that. And I always remember that when Meng had come to me for fatherly advice, and I had told him to remind his son who in the fuck he was, because he was a badass.
Absolutely.
But Meltzer's right that that was more kind of, I guess, the impression that we had of Meng in the back, and we knew who he was, than the fans, him being a mid-card guy. But that's, you know, I thought his run as King Haku and all of that stuff in the WWE was pretty good.
Absolutely it was.